It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No. In some of the states, like in California, for example, I mean, they hold the elections open for weeks after Election Day. That's just one thing that bothers so many people. We had 3 House Republican candidates who were ahead on Election Day in the last election cycle. And every time a new tranche of ballots came in, they just magically whittled away until their leads were lost. And no series of ballots that were counted after Election Day were our candidates ahead on any of those counts. It looks on its face to be fraudulent. Can I prove that? No.
But I'll just say it. Can I prove it? No. Do I think it? No, not really. But Trump seems to think it, so I'm gonna say it. And that's what he's doing there. If you pay attention to politics, you already know that all the claims that he made there are obviously false. The pretending to not understand the difference in voting demographics of mail-in ballots and this day of ballots, holding the election open for weeks, that's not what they're doing. He knows that he's lying there. Let's move past that to why he's lying there. And the reason he's lying there is that Republicans are desperate to do Daddy Trump's bidding and ram through even more restrictions on voting. But they need to constantly reiterate these already debunked and just at this point tired claims of voter fraud to try to get hopefully enough people, if not a majority, to go along with the fact that voting is going to be a whole lot harder than it used to be. And so that's what Johnson's doing there. He's already passed with the Republicans the SAVE Act, their voter suppression bill. That was in the House last April. They passed it almost instantly because they knew it was the only way they were going to maintain their majority. But now they need the Senate Republicans to do it as well. And so they're trying to get some senators to start again, pushing these unfounded claims, to put pressure on Republicans to actually vote for this bill. Let's move now to Tommy Tuberville. Again, more lies, more debunked nonsense.
Is there going to be a vote on the SAVE Act?
Well, it's passed the House, passed last year, I think, and it's in our hands as we speak. But somebody will try to get their hands on it and try to manipulate things in it. But at the end of the day, as you just said, you have to be a United States citizen to vote in this country. That is the #1 thing. And then, of course, President Trump wants same-day voting, mail ballots. Get rid of these voting machines. There's a half a dozen people, whether it's the House or Senate, Larry, that are up here as we speak, that did not get elected. It was all bogus because we've seen the evidence, and if we don't straighten that out, you're going to see a lot more of it this fall.
Yep, he's seen the evidence. Can I see the evidence? No. Can you see the? No, you can't see it. Could a judge see the evidence? None have. It's interesting that they have this obvious proof that half a dozen of their colleagues didn't get elected, and they just can't bring it to the jury. Like, it's all the way over, the courtroom's all the way over there. I don't want, it's in a box, it's too heavy. This is pathetic. He doesn't believe it any more than Mike Johnson does. They are all lying to your face, pretending that non-citizens are voting all over the place, which is why we need to require that everybody have a photo ID, even though that's not why they want to do it. They want to do it because they know that not every population of actual citizens is as likely to have photo ID. That's the only reason. It's not an actual problem. In Michigan, there was an analysis, and in 2024, out of 5.7 million votes cast, election officials identified 16 credible cases where a non-citizen might have voted. I don't think it swung the election. I'm pretty sure that the Trump didn't win. But well, first of all, he won anyway, so I don't even understand what the problem is. And again, they constantly claim that these elections are rigged in states where they won, when they were in charge. It will never make sense to me. In any event, it's not a real concern, but it's to justify stuff. And not just the SAVE Act, by the way. There's other stuff they want to justify too, and they're starting to get kind of emboldened about it. Here is Steve Bannon with an example.
You're damn right. We're gonna have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not gonna sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
None have, and I love the projection of the you could cry or whatever, as if we're. What are we crying about? We didn't claim that 2024 was stolen. We didn't claim that 2016 was stolen. You guys are the ones that can't accept when you lose elections. What are we crying that ICE is going to be around the voting polls? You just said that we're right. I feel like you guys are the ones that cried. I think a big group of you actually got together on January 6th and cried and whined and pissed your pants as you marched on the Capitol because you couldn't accept that Donald Trump lost an election in a year in which he allowed hundreds of thousands of Americans to needlessly die of a disease that he just chose not to do anything about while tanking the economy at the exact same time. Weird that he would lose under those circumstances, but it's probably not that. It's probably that the Democrats stole the election even though Donald Trump was in charge of the government when this supposedly happened. But Steve Bannon, again, doesn't believe anything that he's saying, pretending that, Donald Trump could never lose. Donald Trump is the best. Steve Bannon has been revealed in the Epstein files to have told Epstein that the 25th Amendment should be invoked against Donald Trump because he was losing his mind. That snake in the grass, that traitor to MAGA now pretends to be loyal to Donald Trump. He was the one mocking Trump for having affairs and stuff like that. And so I'm left with a lot of follow-up questions, some of them being about the election, some of them being about why 10 years after Jeffrey Epstein was locked up for child sex trafficking, Steve Bannon decided he wanted to get all buddy-buddy with the most notorious sex predator in American history. But isn't it interesting, Sharon, that Steve Bannon would rather talk about, we're gonna be tough guys with ICE, we're not gonna let you steal an election, not, I was trying to be best friends with a child rapist. It's interesting how he fills his time on his 4-hour daily stream.
You know what TYT has always been about? Taking on the corrupt, greedy establishment. For us, it's the corporate media. We've been fighting that fight for over 20 years. For the cell phone industry, it's the same story. A handful of massive corporations ripping you off. That's why we're partnering with Noble Mobile. They're the only wireless company with the same mission as ours, to fight back. Their Noble plan offers unlimited data for just $50 a month. But here's the best part. For any data that you don't use, you get cash back. Real money you can spend however you want. Stop letting your unused data pad the pockets of billionaires. With Noble, you take control over your data. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT in our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.
What do you think?
Wow, Don Jr. was right about one thing, Bannon, okay? Maybe it was just one thing. Listen, you said the word emboldened, and I think that's true, but I also think desperation is another word. And if they can coexist together, then we need to just put them in a sandwich, because as we approach the demise of, I think, the rest of what's left of the Republican Party, and perhaps the Donald Trump presidency number 2, they are desperate. And that means they will be bold and do anything and everything. They're not even gonna try to massage it. They're just gonna take it ahead of time, not explain it after the fact. So yeah, I mean, I don't know why anyone's still listening to Steve Bannon. He's crazy, dark, and yes, that devious mind of his, he is got some level of measurement of intelligence here. He does, which makes him extra dangerous, but it's just all gross. He's so gross. And I don't even know what that woman next to him was doing. What was that about?
Holding her breath, I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't literally smell someone through the camera, but I feel like it was still getting a whiff. Anyway, yeah, no,
Right.
it's pathetic, it's fascistic, it's undemocratic, but that's who they are, that's how they make their money, that's how they stay in power.